All right, welcome back. I want to do a quick video today on some sub-general gear and maybe a few things that you did or didn't know. Getting a lot of questions on that. There are a couple things you can do wrong with your sub-generals, so just want to make sure we're not doing that and explain why we're doing a few things on them. But first, I got to correct something. Robert Range with a W in there pointed out that I used the wrong numbers when we were talking about how we're buffing our wall general. So if you look at this troop and you touch the troop, it'll show you that. Let's look at the HP at 3,783. When you roll 25% improvement on your refined, you're not getting 25% HP of the 38,000. You're getting 25% of the base stat without your research, without your wall generals, all the buffs you're getting from all over the places. You're not getting the 25% on all that. So to find the base stat, we went to down at the bottom, evonyguidewiki.com. This will show you the base stats of all your troops. So these are the true base stats. When we did it in the first video, I accidentally did the range, and we want the mounted. So there's that website down there. Now, when we go down to the T13s like we did in my previous video that I was called out for, I do make mistakes. It's good that you guys are catching them. That shows me that you can do the math on your own. Maybe I'm showing you some ways to do it, but you guys can figure it out on your own. If you can figure it out on your own, then you can decide if you should go K35 or instead spend the resources on better gear or more troops at certain areas. This way you can figure out how to play your keep. And maybe I'm doing a few things wrong and you're going to do a few things right. We'll share ideas and it'll all work out. So now, looking down here, I need to use 10,480. I accidentally used this number when we were doing the HP. So let's just take that number, that 10,480. 10,480. That's the HP of a T13 base troop. Now, if I roll a 25% roll, I'm getting 2,620. I could potentially roll. Let's take a look here. If we go to my wall general, you're going to see that if I get a perfect refine, I could get 1978. Okay, but the odds of you getting that are very slim. But let's just use that number. That's a max. Okay, this is a Civ gear. I think you can get a 30% refine on the percentages on a Civ gear. Somebody let me know if that's accurate. Normal gear chops out at 25. I think Civ gear goes larger. I don't think you can get a higher spin on flat rates. So I think if this was a Achaemenid gear, I think the highest you can get is the same as far as a 1978. But I don't know that for fact. Somebody can go look and call me out on it. But I think only the percentages go up to 30. But let's just go back to these numbers now. All right, we're back to this base stat. 25% of the base number of 10,480 comes out to be 2,620. But you can debuff that into half, right? So you can divide that by 50 if it's fully debuffed. Well, that ain't right. What was the previous number? I'm going to say it was somewhere around there. I think it was 2,620. If you multiply it by half, you're getting 1,340. So now that it's debuffed, I would be better off getting a full spin of the 1998. Even if I just got the 1800, this can't be debuffed, okay? But we're also talking about T13s. If you go back and take a look at your T1 troops, all the way at the top here, the base stat is 400. So if I was going to take my roll here, and yay, I got a 25% roll, 400 times 0.25, I got 100. I had to calculate that out. I'm sorry. Anyways, you're getting 100 HP versus flat refines. I'm getting 190, if that's a perfect roll. I'm getting almost 2,000 HP on my almost 200 million T1 mounted troops that I'm using. So again, we'll just leave it at that. Just a little bit of a correction, but maybe you didn't see that video, so now you can at least understand where we're getting the numbers from and why we're doing what we're doing with flats. All my defense is really the flat refines in my wall general gear, and very little has to do with the fact that this general's 5-star. If you saw my last video, I played around with putting Shazar on the wall with no enhancements, but just gave her this gear, and she kicked butt. In fact, my Dragon isn't on. We should do that before I forget. There was a question on the Dragon in the previous comments, but what Dragon is which. If you want to go for your wings, you can use one of these other Dragons, buff it up what you can in order to open up your whatever they call this Dragon cliff here. But this is my Dragon. You can see I got flat refines. I've seen some people say that you want all HP and no attack, but I got a decent mounted attack, and I'll leave that on there for now. Attacks don't go as high as the HP. It's still a yellow. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm adding 640 attack to all my troops all the way through, and it cannot get debuffed. So somebody had asked about their talents. This is the first talent is machine attack and machine defense. I won't need machine defense unless I'm getting attacked by other siege, which is a weak spot for me. I do win the battle, but it's pricey to take a siege bomb. If anything else hits me, I use my siege attack. I kill a lot of troops. You'll have to go back and watch the last video if you want to see what my siege does in various rallies or various incoming troop types. But the second talent level is in-city siege range and attack. In-city attack and troop HP for the ground. But so this is only just in city, and the other one would qualify whatever general it's on. It would always work. So that's just a little bit on that Dragon. I'm going to show you my subsidies and why I'm doing what. I ran out of troops this subsidy because I was attacking, and I killed off almost all my troops. And this is a weekly thing for me. I'm very rarely would I touch 2,000 troops in my city. So I don't know why I'm listening to everybody and I'm putting on these training capacity. Well, that's training capacity. I was thinking it was troop capacity, but it's training capacity. I really don't understand the value of this training thing. I'd rather have less training capacity because I feel like I could train 1 or 2 troops quicker than I can train 5 troops. So I'm not quite sure what this skill book does, but they all say to have it on there. You definitely want training speed. And this rebirth one, I'm skeptical on this book too. I get the concept, right? You always want troops left in your subsidy. All you need is 1 troop in your subsidy, and you get all the benefits of your defense or of your sub-general. So I feel like if this was true, you'd almost never run out of troops. Because if I have 2,000 troops and I get attacked, I feel like I should have, what is the math, 100 troops left minimum because I get 5% survival rate. This doesn't happen. I can get all my troops annihilated in 1 hit. So I feel like I don't understand this rebirth. I feel like there should always be some troops surviving when I have this card, this skill book on my generals. But this is what the experts tell you to do, and I'm following it. I'm just skeptical. Let's get into what I do know. When you look at these generals, you only count your debuff. Some people will tell you that your debuffs stats are the only thing that count. That's not true. Your other stats do count, but they only count for the troops in your subsidy. So if you bring 400 troops in like I have into this subsidy here, and I buff their ground attack by 20%, it's virtually nothing. But they also bring in their debuffs, and the debuffs count for your stats over all your troops for your entire kingdom. So that's why you only count in the debuffs, because it's so insignificant to count anything else. So let's just take a look at this general. Got him up 1 star. I get 45% range attack debuff with the 2nd star, combining them, of course, and 50% mounted troop HP reduction. That's all well and good. The gear is really where you're probably going to get most of your debuff gear. This is probably a bad example. This is a mixed general. So when you mix your gear, I have a Civ gear here. You get some better stats, but you're losing stats when you don't get a set bonus. So if you do mix in some Civ gear, make sure it's worth it, because let's go to the next general and you'll see. So this one has all Amenity gear, and that allows me to get, you see in the middle of the green here, this will allow me to get all of the debuff, or all of the set gear bonuses. So all troops attack, doesn't really matter. I'm bringing 400 troops in from each subcity, maybe 2,000 if I'm lucky. That 10% is nothing. The ground and mounted defense on monsters obviously is not helpful. I guess it can be if you send your gear on a solo to a monster, but the only thing that really matters here is this bottom one, 15% troop attack on all troops. So you really don't count siege attack debuff, because you're going to get enough from everything. So when you're picking out your gear, ignore siege attack debuff. You'll have plenty to debuff their march. Maybe in the end game, 5 years down the road, you'll run into somebody that's got 4,000 or 5,000 siege attack. But at the level that I'm at, I'm not going to see that for a long time. So just ignore siege attack debuff. So I'm going to count this, instead of 60% attack debuff, I'm going to say it's 45, because I'm getting range, ground, and mounted at 15. That's really good. I mean, that's the best thing you're looking at out of all this gear, really. You would think it's easier to get attack debuff, especially range. It's really tough. So what you always want to do is do the Fearless Amenity ring, because I'm getting mounted troop HP and ground troop HP. The other ring, I think, is just siege attack. I'll try to remember to take a look at that. And then I do spin refines, and I just try to get training speed without using any gems. So you can see down below, my refines are pretty weak. Nothing else really counts other than the Subcity ones. There is a wrong pair of boots and a right pair of boots. This one has siege machine attack and mounted troop attack. Those are the only stats that count off of this piece of gear. So there's no reason to craft the other one. I think the other one is the Fearless. You want the Courageous. The Fearless just has siege machine attack. So remember, siege machine attack is basically useless. And you can craft this one and gain the same thing with mounted troop attack debuff. So you definitely want this one. I see people using the wrong one quite a bit. Weapons are up for debate. Let's stick to the armor here. This is the same thing. Like, here's mounted troop defense on the bottom. Enemy mounted troop defense, 35%. I don't know if you guys are following my voice or not, so I'll just do that. The siege machine attack, we don't care about that, right? Because we're going to get that. So all we're getting off this piece of gear is the enemy mounted troop defense, which is helpful. Because remember, those troops come in first. We got to kill those before they start killing other things. So you definitely want to debuff mounted troop and ground troop defense and HP where you can. But just to show you, that's all we're getting from that piece. The other one, there is a wrong armor, and again, I'll try to look at that later. But the leg armor, this one too, there's a right and a wrong one. This one has the machine attack we don't really care about, but we do want the range troop defense. I can't remember what the Courageous one is, so I guess we got some shopping to do at the Forge after this. There are two different helmets. We should take a look at those. I think I always try to use the Courageous. We can rifle through and see if there's any changes on my other. So it looks like I always have that helmet. But you can see what changes when I'm rifling through are just really the weapons. So what weapons are what? Well, it depends what you want to debuff. If you want the axe, you can take HP from ground and range. If you want to use the spear, you can do double ground, because if somebody's coming at me with ground, you definitely want to kill that march quickly. The theory on the range HP, you're attacking those from afar, so I'm not really sure how effective range HP is, because if you get to the range with your mounted or ground, you're going to kill them pretty quickly. They have less HP, so probably not as significant as the ground HP, but hey, take the stats wherever you can get them. Let's go look at the forge real quick and compare the differences here. So the weapons, this is the spear. We talked about that. This is the axe. You get the ground and the range versus the ground and the ground. The sword, mounted troop attack, so that's an option. If you're getting whooped by mounted troop attack, there's a little bit more for you there, but you're giving up something somewhere else. And this is just siege attack for the bow. Just forget it. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do the bow. Let's take a look at the wrong and the right legs. So this would be the wrong one. All you're getting is siege machine attack, so you're not getting anything. But if you take the right pair, you get the courageous boots, you're getting the mounted troop attack. You might as well take the free stats and get the right one. If you crafted the wrong one, leave it on or till you get all your gear done, because you still want that set bonus, and then change it after you complete all your sub gear. Looking at the leg armor, here is range troop defense, and siege machine attack, which is worthless. I would rather get rid of the mounted troop attack just to kill that front wall of their troop. There may be other people that want to debuff range. If all you're getting hit by is range, fine. But you're going to be real susceptible to somebody sending in a good ground or mounted troop attack. So I want to be well balanced and prepared for everything. We're looking at the armor here. This is mounted troop defense. Okay. The other option would be mounted troop defense and siege machine attack. You might as well take the siege machine attack, even though it's worthless. So if you craft the wrong one, it really wouldn't be a big deal to just leave it on. But if you haven't crafted it yet, take the extra siege machine attack. The helmets, I thought they were somewhat versatile. Let's see. Mounted troop attack would be the fearless. I don't have any of those on right now. I've got all ground troop stuff. There was a time where ground troop attack scared the crap out of me. So that's probably why I used all courageous. I know I have at least one fearless helmet sitting on the sideline, not on anybody. So I could always swap that out if I wanted to change that. But you can see what's going on here. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, the rings. Let's look at which ring would be wrong. So this is ground troop and mounted troop HP. That ain't horrible, but you want to get range troop debuff anywhere you can get it. And this ring is the only piece that has any range troop attack debuff, so you definitely want to do that. There was one other thing I wanted to show you guys. So if I go to my subcities, I ran out of troops, and after SBS, then I started playing around with conscripting troops, gemming for troops. You can see the top one, I have 130,000 troops. I accidentally spent like 300,000 gems. Well, I don't even know what these pluses are for. Is this new? I swear that wasn't here yesterday. Guess I got to do some research. But you see the bottom here? Instant train. I thought if I clicked that button, I would only spend 1,000 gems. And here's why I clicked that button. I went into my troops. I saw that I had like 1 or 2 troops. Now I have 429. But I went into here, and the quantities were like 1. And you see on the bottom now, it would cost me 132,000 gems to... At 132,000 gems to to fully fill up my troops here. But I went back to here. I'm like, well, let's just instant train 1,000 troops or 1,000 gems worth of troops, and it dropped me for 300,000 troops. So I was not happy with that. I can explain to you why my subsidies are so high in a different level, different video. There's kind of a little trick with that. Make sure I let you know if I forget about that. But that's going to be it for the video. I'm going to do a little bit of refining here real quick. I saw that piece of gear, and since I won so many gems in SBS, taking first place last weekend, I'm going to do a little bit of refining, see if I can get rid of that purple piece of gear. But if you already are familiar with your refining, feel free to tune out. If there's anything else you want to see in the videos, or if I messed up again, call me out for it. I mean, we're in it together, trying to learn from each other. So this is the piece of gear that I'm just going to refine. You guys can leave if you're done, if you don't want to see me refine, but I'm going to spend some gems. So I feel like I'm in the end game with my gear, so to speak. I might even just leave this orange one for spin, because if I get 2 more gold, that would be pretty huge. I'm going to go for it. I got the gems. They didn't cost me anything. I didn't spend for them, so I'm just going to cancel until... Again, the percentages are worthless. Here I'm spending money on YouTube. See, I don't want it, right? It's a percentage. I was going to click it immediately, but maybe you guys mull over this and be like, oh, it's gold. You don't want it. Get rid of it. It would hurt me significantly compared to where I am now. It's just mean that it was a yellow gold. I'm just looking for yellow mounted troop, and then I'll look and see what it is. See, there's another one. Now, being a Civ gear, you want to open up all the yellow ones first, no matter what the flavor is, because then you can do advanced refining. If you guys want to see that, I can show you later. So I'm just spewing out gold. You saw I was at 2,200,000 gold, or I call it gold from a previous game, gems. There we go. Boom. That's a great roll, because I got 2 for 1. Make sure you hit the confirm button. I don't think I need to spend another 200,000 gems trying to get a yellow one today. I probably have weaker spots than that. So that was successful. But I had, before I go back, I had 2.2 million gems. I spent 150 gems, and I got lucky. So if you're doing a piece of gear from scratch, you keep spinning until you get a high gold mounted troop flat before you save. Don't save any purple or orange. Don't do it, because it gets real pricey after that. So reason being, there's no gems charged for the original spin. So once you spin everything gold, it doesn't matter if it's Subcity training or whatever. Get 4 golds, you open up advanced refining. Then you can come into here, and it allows you to, here's my Choreo bracers. It allows you to refine these. I'm getting an extra 16.5% troop attack. You tap this thing for 50 times a day, and I used to have so many refining stones. I mean, I'm talking like 600,000-700,000, and this was 2 weeks ago. So I don't mind it, because it's adding attack to all my troops to help kill their incoming march. Yes, it could be debuffed, but I would still be getting 8.25% out of that 16.5%. So there, I spent all those refining stones. I didn't even get another percentage today. Tomorrow I would, but that's just how that works. I'm going to cut the video off now. It's way longer than I wanted it to be. Again, let me know in the comments if there's something I'm forgetting about and you guys want to see.